If not, just give me a shout. Reminder to use the raise hand button if you have questions. Coach, do you want to start us off or go right into questions?
Questions are fine.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys, the floor is open if anyone wants to start us off with the first question. Go ahead, David.
Sorry, I have to unmute and get my picture up here. Matt, you mentioned the defense didn't play well enough yesterday, but in your 6 losses, I think you guys are allowing like 163 yards rushing a game, which is over 100 yards more than you are in your wins. What's happening there, and what can you do to correct that?
We've got to play. We got to play correctly the defenses that are called. That was basically yesterday was one run scheme. It was it was really a copycat run. It was the play that scored a touchdown against Arizona. Repped it during the week. We just have to play way better. We have to stay in our gaps, use our hands. We need guys to fit the run. We need to tackle 24 at a much higher level than we did. It's nothing, I always look at things very critically, coaches first. There's nothing schematic there. I mean, we pressured it, we blitzed it, we overloaded the box with it. There's no quarters in the game. There's no six. It's all overloaded. Extra guy in the box. Credit to them. They blocked us. They blocked our 3 technique. They won inside versus our D tackles, and we just weren't able to stop it. So but you hit the nail on the head, David. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think I've said it too. Like, really yesterday was that plus the third downs. Like we couldn't get off the field on third down, right? We were playing man to man and didn't win on third down. So that they hit 3rd and 25 and they converted on 4th down. They converted 2 4th downs. So I think it was a mixture of both. Credit to them. They ran the football and they converted on 3rd and 4th down. But I mean it's not any one. It's been different run schemes, versus the Cowboys. It was more of a downhill duo, power running type game. When we hold people under 100 yards, we win the game. So.
How concerning is that? Because, I mean, it seems like that's the one thing keeping you guys from being consistent.
Yeah, it's very concerning. I mean, if you can't stop the run and, you'll hear analytics people say, the run doesn't matter. The run, when you're trying to control a game, the run matters, So, we have to get off the field versus the run, and we have to stop the run. We have to get off the field on 3rd down. I mean, that's been our recipe. When we do it well, we win. We didn't do it well on Sunday, and we lost. At the end of the day, we still had a chance. We had two possessions in the last 4 minutes of the game to go down and get a field goal and then get a touchdown. So, defense made us stop when we needed them to, but we have to stop the run, and we did not do it.
All right, let's go to Joe Person.
Hey, Matt, I have 2, one from each side of the ball. First, we talked to you a lot about Christian McCaffrey's usage. And yesterday, he did not get a ton of touches. How much of that, first of all, do you think he should have had more running opportunities? And then how much of that is kind of the cam effect on the zone reads?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we ran the ball 21 times. We'd like to run it 30 sometimes. I just think the issue was the defense couldn't get off the field, so the offense didn't have enough possessions, and then the offense didn't convert enough 3rd downs. I mean, when we converted 3rd downs, we went down and scored. Penalties. We had a 2nd and 2 penalty, which Michael Jordan was called for a false start. He didn't move, so I'm not going to get on him for that. But we had two bad holds on 1st downs that brought the ball. Even in the last one, we're down 3. Christian hits a wide zone. He hits two 15-yard, or they were 15-yard runs that get called back. So he hits the wide zone. We have the ball out to the 35-yard line. It comes back. We had a hold on Taylor Moton, which was a hold. And so, I thought, Amir only had 1 carry. Chuba had none. So I don't think it was really like, hey, are we limiting Christian's touches? I mean, it was as much as anything, most of the passing game trying to feature Christian. Trying to run it with him. So some of the zone reads, obviously, Cam had a big, long run. But I think, if anything, Joe, to me, it was the defense. I mean, they had whatever, going into the half, they had a long drive. Then they had a long drive coming out of the half. I mean, that takes away half the game. It's exactly what you have to do to beat us, and they did it. If our defense played better, the offense has more chances, then the offense has to be better on 3rd down.
And then on defense, Matt, tough day for Dante. Did you see anything that was sort of a common denominator in some of his struggles yesterday?
Just like you said, just a tough day. I mean, in man-to-man, and man to man, we had, we really had bad eyes all day. Guys were looking back at the quarterback. We got beat for a slant for a touchdown that wasn't Dante. We got beat for a slant on 3rd and 9. And then, obviously, got beat on the over route, got beat on the pivot route for a touchdown. So, we train guys to play man-to-man, to have their eyes on their man, to control him. Once you have control, look back for the ball. We were kind of looking back for balls all day. It's kind of defensively, that's kind of what happened all day. Guys really trying to go out there and kind of, make plays and not just playing the defense. If the defense will just listen to Phil moving forward, they'll get back to playing really good defense. It's just kind of like what I was trying to say last week. It's the game's never about any one guy. It's about everybody just doing their job. It's so easy. It's hard to do, but it's easy. And if guys put their eyes where they're supposed to be and guys are in their gaps, then as you've seen all year, we've had a pretty good defense when we've done that. But we did not play good man-to-man, and obviously I'm sure Dante will be the first to tell you that was certainly not his best game.
All right, let's go to Steve Reed, followed by Skylar Callahan.
Hey, Matt, I think we've maybe asked you about this before a few weeks ago, but leading the league in penalties, I imagine it's just got to kind of drive you nuts. But what do you do to kind of correct that, and to stop that cycle of being, a highly penalized team?
Yeah, I think once you get the reputation, it's kind of on you. The holds are bad on the offensive line. Like I said, Michael Jordan had a false start. I can't see him moving. Derek Brown jumped off sides. The guard flinched his hand. I think there's some things there were some tough calls in that game that went against us. But the officiating is the officiating. We're not going to complain about it. We're just going to play through it. What's really bothering me, Steve, is the holds on offense. Like we just can't work on offense where you're 2nd and 20. We overcame the one, but we didn't overcome the second one. And then Burris hitting the quarterback as he slid. Our level of focus has to be significantly higher, especially at home. Our level of focus as a team at home is not anywhere near what it has to be. I feel like I have to do a better job as the head coach of getting us locked in at home games. We're about everything else other than just playing the football and the play right in front of us. And it's time for us to make that step. We can't go out and play the way we did against Atlanta, then come home and play the way we did against New England. Then go to Arizona. We were such a good team in Arizona, and then to come back and to do what we did yesterday, just disappointing. So the penalties are certainly part of it, just like being out of our gaps part of it, just like not looking at our man's part of it. It's just really undisciplined football yesterday. And then but then you look at the Arizona game, we certainly know how to do it. So we have to put it all together, and we have to start doing it week in and week out. It's got to be a cultural. It's got to be everyone in the Carolina Panthers organization understanding it's not about fluff. It's not about anything else other than football. And I've tried to say that since the beginning. I think we've made some strides. We're sitting here at 5 and 6. We've made strides from last year, but we gotta grow up as a team. And I have to lead the way, and I need my veteran players and leaders to lead the way. There has to be an accountability to the standard. You can't grab guys and tackle them. You can't jump off sides. You can't jump off sides on a field goal block. You know what I mean? On 4th and 7, just can't do those things. And if we can make that step, Steve, then we'll be a good team. But we won't be a good team until we make that step. And that commitment to execution and forgetting about everything else is what the good teams in this league do. They show up on Sundays and they execute.
Hey, Matt, you talked a little bit yesterday about Brady Christensen at left tackle. Just what did you see going back on the film about what he did? And can he be somebody that maybe fights for a spot on that left side? I know you wanted to keep him on the right side earlier in the year.
Yeah, he played well in the game. Dennis went down for the 2nd week in a row. Brady had to step up, and he played well. So, I was proud of him. We'll see what this week brings.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander, followed by Ellis Williams.
Hey, Matt. I know early in the year there were concerns with the offensive line as far as you all not being able to get explosive plays out there. Offensive line has played a little bit better. Are there opportunities out there for more explosive plays, or is that anything you all are trying to look for in the passing game?
Yeah, well in the run game and the passing game we need more explosive plays. But you can't be in it's a mixture of everything. You can't be in 2nd and 20. You need to convert 3rd downs. Like when we crossed the 50, we ran the double pass and got, I don't know if it was an explosive play, but got whatever we got, 15 yards or 12 yards, and then through the seam route. That's as good as a ball as I've seen thrown to Christian for the touchdown. We have all that stuff there. We have to just execute along the way to get into those situations. But yeah, we have to be more explosive. We had two really good runs called back for penalties that we held. I mean, you can't do that. So I think it's our commitment to being to executing and not hurting ourselves, not being ourselves. If that can increase, we can stay on the field longer. We can convert third downs. I think the big plays will come. To go out there and just chuck it up on first down, the first play of a drive, we can do that here and there. We called some deeper plays in the game, and the ball had to be checked down. We have Christian McCaffrey. We're going to try to utilize him to throw the ball to him when we can. But yeah, your point's unbelievably valid. We have to create some 15, 20, 25-yard plays. But I'll just always say it's a function of everything. We have to execute to get ourselves on the field long enough to do those things.
Also, I don't want to pin this on just one person, but Terrace Marshall looked really good in the preseason, but you all haven't really had anything consistent from the number 3 wide receiver spot. Why do you think that perhaps maybe you all are struggling in that area?
I think it's hard for me to talk previous to like the last 2 weeks. I think because we just had our passing game had struggled in general. Even our Robbie, the second leading receiver, wasn't catching a lot of balls. I think these last 2 weeks it's been better, but the passing game has to improve significantly moving forward. Terrace is a good player. He has to be more a part of our offense. Robbie had 5 catches, DJ had 5 catches. Obviously, Christian catches a lot of balls, but we have to be a better passing team. We've been decent in the run game, but we have to be better.
Hey, Matt, it's said that Thanksgiving is when the real NFL season starts. And I'm wondering, with the penalties and the lack of explosive plays, are you starting to feel a real sense of urgency that it's now or never to get those things cleaned up?
I mean, it's really, I'll say this with it's really not about how I feel though. Like I've had urgency all year long. It's about, the reason why you have veteran players is they walk in and they say, hey, this is not going to be tolerated. This is the standard, but then they follow through on it. It's not about a bunch of speeches. It's about those guys getting it done. And so, all I want, Ellis, is consistency, consistent commitment to execution. It's why I am the way I am. It's why, it's why we, in practice, the way I am. Like we want that, but it's just got to continue to turn over on the team. And I think we have a lot of guys that are doing it. We did not do it. We did it really well against Arizona. We did not do it this past game. The explosive plays to me comes with execution, right? You don't go out and just say, hey, let's have an explosive play. Like you have to execute it to make it happen. And so we've had a lot of turnover. We have a lot of guys back right now. Sometimes you hear people talk about playoffs and all. My message to our guys is always just play great football and everything takes care of itself. Like you can't give up 190 yards rushing and say, well, we're still in the race. Like good teams don't give up 190 yards rushing, right? Like, so let's just clean that up. Let's get the football right. So it's not about, it's like, hey, Christian's back, Cam's back. I mean, we need a whole team. The whole team has to execute. Our punter has to punt better. Our kickoff guy has to put the ball in the end zone. I've got to coach better. It's about all of us, just a sense of oneness where we all play a lot better. And so I say all that to say, I've had urgency about things since the very first game, but it's gonna take our players locking in, and we'll go on the road this week versus Miami, and we have to play our best game against Miami, and then we take a week off. I want our guys to recharge, and then we come back, and then we have 5 games, 4 of which are conference games, and we just need to not worry about anything, the standings, what other teams do. We just have to worry about ourselves and playing good football. And if we can do that, then that's all we can control. So I know that's whatever, but it's 1,000% how I feel. When we're locked in the moment, you don't get a holding call. When you're locked in the moment, you don't jump off sides. You're so locked into your technique and your focus and being in that moment. So that's where we have to be in my mind.
So Matt, to harness that locked in mentality in terms of penalties, what has worked in your coaching history on like what tactics to clean that up? Is it rallying your veterans? Is it getting on your assistant coaches? What has been the most effective in the past?
Technique.
Okay.
Technique. I mean, you get penalties because of poor technique. When your hands are out here and all that. I mean, it just comes down to technique and comes down to focus. To get that done, I can promise you there's a lot of pressure put on our assistant coaches, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves. I think, the thing is the reason why you have elite veteran players is they have to have a standard set, right? So it's like, coaches set the standard, but they want that. Like, players want to be the ones to go out and win the game. It's not like I'm saying it's on you guys. I mean, players want that. They want, you don't have guys like Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton, Shaq Thompson, Dante Jack. You don't have players of that caliber and have them say, hey, I want it to be on anyone else other than me. So our guys have seen, Ellis, what it looks like when they've put their eyes in the right place. They saw on Sunday what it looks like when we're looking back at the quarterback in man-to-man. They got a decision to make how we're going to play moving forward. So, I'll always take the responsibility and put it on myself. I just know we have some players here now that want that responsibility on them, and that's a good thing. So, let's put it together this week.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we can get a few more in here. So let's go to Will Palachik next, followed by David Newton, and then Scott Fowler.
Matt, how big of a turning point was the kind of score at the end of the half, and then obviously them getting the ball to start the third and then scoring without your offense taking the field save for the one kneel down at the end of the half?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, we call it the middle eight. We talk about the middle eight. When we win the middle eight, we usually win the game. New England did it 2 weeks ago here. They went down and scored right before the half. These guys, did the same thing. So you like to think that you go in at halftime and you regroup and you come out and you play your best football. Knowing that they get the ball, your defense goes out and plays their best football. We just didn't get that done. But that was excellent by them and poor by us.
Matt, we asked you about Cam yesterday, and you said he played excellent. I'm wondering, after reviewing the tape, anything you saw that stood out more or less than other? And as he follow up on that is, as he gets deeper in the playbook, you think you'll see him challenge deeper more to get those explosive plays you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the deeper thing is more on Joe and me. There's no issue with Cam's arm. I mean, we threw 4 verticals on 2nd and 20, hit the seam route to Tommy, threw the ball to Christian. I mean, just, typically since we've been here, Joe's been more of an underneath passing game guy. We have to continue to push the deep passing game. So I wouldn't put that on anything. And I know that's kind of a narrative right now. That's on us as coaches to get that done. But I'm gonna put that aside. I thought Cam played well, played good. I mean, to me, you can't have the ball twice at the end of the game and not go down and score in the National Football League. So that's probably something I didn't talk enough about after the game. And we have to convert more third downs. Is that Cam? No, it's everybody. But at the same time, 4th and 4, we can't throw a ball. You can catch a ball at 3.5 yards. We've got to get 5 yards. So. You guys know me. I don't like putting anything on any one guy. When you're the quarterback, there's a lot of responsibility on you. Cam did a lot of good things. He ran the ball. He executed the offense. What he's done in terms of learning a lot quickly is great. But if we have the ball twice in the last 4 minutes of a game in the National Football League, they're all going to come down to the last 4 minutes. We have to go score a field goal or then a touchdown. So I put that on all of us. But at the end of the day, as a quarterback, we've got to get that done. So I'm sure he'd be the first to say that. We convert a few more third downs, stay on the field. I think everything looks different, and we've got to win it at the end of the game.
Thanks.
Matt, on that particular play you're mentioning, the throw to Christian, Christian later said he didn't get enough depth on it. Maybe the throw is a tad behind him too. Where did that one go wrong, or was he supposed to run a 5-yard route there?
It's a choice route. It's an option route, so he can break the guy across his face. He can break out. The defensive end came out and hit him. He put his foot in the ground, we would say too soon, to break out. He did get beyond the sticks as he broke out, and the ball brought him back. We just like it to be further than that, So, to me, that's a play where you're saying, hey, Christian's our best player. We're going to let him go win. There's one-on-one coverage, he's just got to get a little more depth.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, guys.